we're back. It's another edition of Mets Prospective. He's Joe DeMayo. I'm Jacob Resnick. Joe, the weather up here in the Northeast is starting to get a little warmer, and so are the bats of some of the Mets' top prospects. Mark Vientos is hitting over 300 in May after a tough April. The Big Three in Binghamton had a big week on the road in New Hampshire. But I think we keep coming back to that St Lucie team down in Florida that just keeps winning. And Joe, with all due respect to the lineup, I think it's the arms that really get us excited.
And it's headlined by a starting rotation that's filled with 2021 draft picks. Third rounder Dom Hamel out of Dallas Baptist. I thought he was going to dominate the Florida State League. And so far, he's just been solid. He needs to throw a few more strikes, but he's been fine. Fastball up to 96 miles an hour. You have eighth rounder Mike Vasil, who the Mets sort of tweaked his mechanics and tweaked his repertoire a bit. He's been up to 97 miles an hour and having a little more success than Hamel. And then, of course, second rounder Calvin Ziegler, who right now is missing bats at a 41% strikeout rate. Walking some guys a bit, but right now you're not making good contact and you're striking out. That's what's happening to Calvin Ziegler. So really exciting start for him. And frankly, this whole starting staff based around largely the 2021 draft class.
Yeah, and it's pretty exciting when you look at that group. It's a bunch of college guys, Vasil, Hamel, also Carson Seymour, Christian Scott is now with the team. And Ziegler's the only guy who came straight from high school to the draft. He's just 19 years old. He's really the epitome of a modern baseball player. And what does that mean? It means he speaks the language that all of these major league teams are evaluating players by. And he's really been doing it since high school because he played at a very reputable program down in Florida. He talks about his spin rate, his mechanics, the ride he gets on his fastball, and really a very mature and well-spoken player who really knows his stuff really well and can work with the coaches who are looking at that data, those analytics, the high-speed cameras to break down everything about his game. And so far, like you mentioned, the results have been absolutely fantastic. He's throwing hard. He's got that hammer curveball. And really something exciting for the Mets to look at is a guy just at the beginning of his career. There's so much still for him to grow, but the fact that he's starting at this level so strongly is just really something exciting for the Mets to watch. Recently, we got the chance to catch up with Ziegler to talk about how he's handling his first season in pro ball. You're a baseball guy from a hockey country, Ontario, Canada. Yeah. But what made you fall in love with the sport?
It just happened. When I was younger, my dad put me in skates, tried to put me on the ice, and I just wasn't having it. And then, he gave me a bat and a ball, and it was just like, that was it. Probably when I was 2 or 3, that was the decision. It wasn't even, I don't even recall those times because it was so long ago, but it's just what happened. He just gave me a bat and a ball, and I decided this is the one.
You've had a few months now being a professional baseball player. What's been the biggest adjustment for you so far?
I feel like probably just the atmosphere, because obviously with my team, most of the guys here are college guys, and so they kind of go about things a little bit differently than me being a previous high schooler. Just kind of falling in and following a lot of the older guys' footsteps, obviously because of the maturity and whatnot. Is just that kind of next level. These are my teammates, but they're also more young adults than I am, and just really just enjoying it and trying to make sure that every day I'm out there and just really enjoying and picking up what I'm seeing from the games and what these college guys do right now. Me being in low A, it's awesome. I'm super excited to go to the field every day, and just looking forward to doing stuff every day with the team.
I know you've said in the past that Max Scherzer was your favorite player growing up. Just curious if you got a chance to talk to him during spring training at all.
No, I didn't get the opportunity to. Kind of sucked. Obviously, you're looking at, I'm in the complex and he's over at the field, and it's like we're maybe 400 feet away, and it's like that's my guy. I've been looking up to him and whatnot, but no, I didn't end up ever getting the shot to talk to him. But hey, hopefully soon.
What's the first question you want to ask him when you get the chance to talk to him?
Man, I don't even know. I feel like I'd just be so shocked that he's actually in my presence that I wouldn't have a question for him. We'd kind of just be like, hey, how's it going? I feel like just because I've watched him for so long, I feel like I have a connection with him, even though he probably doesn't even know my name yet.
We know you have the big fastball, the hammer curveball. So can you just talk about the growth with the changeup? And how much is it a focus in bullpen sessions and side sessions that you do?
So actually, I've went to more of a splitter grip. So I have pretty big hands and I have very flexible fingers. So I can kind of wrap my fingers around the ball like fairly easily. And once we learned that, we decided that the splitter would be a better kind of route for me. Tried to throw it in one catch session. That first catch session, I probably threw 15, or not even 15, like 10. 9 of them were absolutely garbage, but I threw one that was really good. And so basically from there, I've been really trying to develop it. And I feel like it's getting more consistent day in and day out. I feel like it's easier for me to throw than my my old changeup. Pretty comfortable. It's been my main focus so far. And in bullpens and whatnot, like absolutely trying to crush that thing and just make it another plus pitch. So this is the splitter grip. I can get pretty wide on it just because I do have a little bit bigger hands and very flexible fingers. But all it does is I kind of just try to throw it as a fastball and stay really behind and true to that ball and try to finish through it. And I do kill a lot of spin because it just kind of pops out. All I'm trying to do is just absolutely rip it. And the better ones are obviously when they're low, and that's when I get a lot of negative vertical on it. So that's kind of the grip right now. Yeah, you guys are the first people to see that.
Thanks so much to Calvin for taking some time to speak with us. And like we said, just 19 years old, but really is very in touch with his game, his metrics, and how he's going to progress through the minor leagues. And if you allow me to get nerdy for a second on the metrics on his pitches, he's really been fantastic across the board. That fastball has some of the best ride in the entire Florida State League. Also touches 97, so he's blowing his fastball past hitters. He's also getting a 60% whiff rate on his curveball. Hitters just can't adjust from that fastball to the curveball. And then, Joe, we heard him talk about that splitter, which I don't think either of us knew that he was working on developing, but a really interesting addition to his game. And the goal of that pitch is to kill the spin rate. Just let it fall off the table and dive away from hitters. And he's really having success with that early on.
Yeah, I surely had no idea he was throwing a splitter. I thought he was working on a changeup still. And obviously the change to the splitter just fits more of his pitch profile mix. Like you said, take the RPMs off, have it fall off the table. I think it's a pitch, and you saw the size of his hands. Like, I think he's going to be able to really rip that splitter, and I think it's going to be a future plus pitch for him. And what stood out to me also was his maturity. Like, I almost forget that we were talking to a 19-year-old kid, talking, really advanced metrics and numbers. Just felt like he just feels like he's a very mature kid. And I think, it's something that back when the Mets drafted him, there was some thought that they may have reached a bit to take him. A little early still, but it's evident that I think he's worth what they invested in him in the second round of the draft.
Yeah, and if he keeps up his performance throughout the summer into the July and August months, I don't think it's out of the question that he gets a cameo up in Brooklyn to end the season, which is the high A affiliate. And then you look going into 2023 and down the line, he could be in Double A pretty early on next season and be just a couple steps from the majors. All right, Joe, let's get to our Stock Watch segment where we highlight some players who have been catching our eye recently. I'll get it started with Thomas Szapucki, and obviously Mets fans have heard that name for quite a while. The left-handed pitcher on the Mets 40-man roster, made a brief appearance in the major leagues last year, but other than that, he's been riding it out at AAA Syracuse, and he's actually been getting off to a pretty solid start. No longer that power pitcher that was coming up through the system around 2015, 16, and 17. Obviously had Tommy John surgery, didn't come back until 2019, was not really full throttle yet, missed 2020 with the canceled minor league season. And now he's pitching on a regular schedule for Syracuse, still in that starting rotation. He's been having some great success, actually had 9 strikeouts back on May 10th against Scranton. He's getting more strikeouts, a lot of swings and misses on his curveball, which has always been his primary pitch. Fastball is still in that low 90s range, but if you can bump it up to about 95, 96, which he has done on a couple of occasions, could be another candidate to come up to the major leagues. Mets are having some injuries. Tyler McGill, obviously Jacob deGrom is still out of the rotation. You never know. Szapucki could be that guy who could come up. Obviously being a left-handed pitcher with a low slot, still has some interesting stuff left in the tank. All right, Joe, who do you have for us this week?
I'm going to be going with outfielder Jake Mangum, who's playing with Double A Binghamton. He had a bit of a rough go of it in April, but so far in May, he's been scalding hot. He has an OPS over 900. He now leads the AA Eastern League in triples, stealing some bases. And something that stands out to me is his walk rate has increased in the month of May. He's being a little more selective at the plate and really finding the pitch to hit. I think last year you saw him tap into a little more home run power. He hasn't done that so far this year, but he is going gap to gap, hitting line drives and utilizing his legs. Honestly, I think he still has that profile of a fourth outfielder, and his game is looking more and more like Travis Jankowski, who's currently with the Mets.
And that's going to do it for us this week. He's Joe DeMayo. I'm Dick Resnick. We'll see you next time on Mets Prospective.
See the Mets of tomorrow play today. The Brooklyn Cyclones play baseball on the beach all summer long. Visit brooklyncyclones.com/tickets.